the next project for the 64. I'm gonna be Raptor lining the inside of the trunk. As you can see, I got everything with the plastic covered up and the masking tape. On the upright, I put masking tape on the uprights, and I shoved some newspaper on the holes there so I wouldn't get nothing on the frame on the inside. I did the same with the cylinders, and this is painted up, so I want to mask that as well. I got everything scuffed up. I kind of did overkill on the masking and the plastic because this stuff really doesn't let off a bunch of overspray. But I just wanted to do it just to make sure I didn't get nothing on the paint or anywhere it doesn't need to be. I had already Raptor lined the inside of the fender wells, as you can see there. I need to clean that up. It's kind of messy in there. It's just, I need to wipe that off. The reason I didn't do the inside of the trunk when I did that is because I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to base coat, clear coat it so it can be shiny, but then we kind of figured it was a waste of time and materials because most of the trunk is going to be covered up with batteries and pumps and, you know, false wall and stuff. The Raptor liner looks nice, and, you know, for what you're going to see in there, it's just a better alternative than base coat, clear coat. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. I'm going to be mixing up some Raptor, and I'll bring y'all back when I do that. All right, here you got the stuff for the Raptor liner. So go ahead and get it mixed. This is a 1 quart kit, and it's pretty simple. The instructions call for, you know, fill, shake, and shoot, which is okay. You can do that, but I've noticed that when I did that one time, the Raptor liner is kind of like a cream color. I'm not sure if you can see in there or not, but that's what color it is, like a cream color. And whenever I did that the first time, it didn't mix up really well, and when I started spraying it, it was coming out pink. So I mean, obviously didn't want that. So what I did is I emptied it all out and I mixed everything in a mixing cup. And here's the shoots gun that comes with the kit, and then this screws on right onto the top of the bottle here. It's real simple, but for me, I found it easier to mix it in a cup. That way, you know, it's completely mixed and the color that you want. And I also like mixing in a cup because I reduce it. You can reduce this stuff up to 20%. Some people do 10%. The more reducer you put, if you reduce it the whole 20%, excuse me, you'll get less texture. So, and I really don't care for a whole lot of texture in the trunk. So I'm gonna go ahead and reduce this 20%. But again, this is the 1 quart kit. Here's the hardener, and here's the liner, the Raptor, and then the paint. If you were to buy the gallon kit of the Raptor, all you need is 1 pint of paint, because all it calls for is for 2.5 ounces per quart. So this is plenty. You actually have a little bit left over. And whenever you ask for the paint, whatever paint coat you have, whenever you mix the base coat for the Raptor, it calls to be mixed without the paint binders. So any paint shop knows what that is. So just tell them whenever you ask for this pint for the Raptor liner, you want it mixed without the binders. Yeah, 'cause that's what the whole mix calls for. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this mixed up, and I'll bring y'all back. Here's what the Raptor looks like. Just like a cream color. Kind of looks like a milkshake. So that's why I found it a lot easier to mix it in the cup itself. This quart, it's actually not a whole quart. They call it a quart. It's 750 mLs, which is equivalent to 25 ounces. This is about 25 ounces. So to make sure you get all of it out, because there's some left in there, what I do is I pour a little bit of reducer in there, put the cap on it, and then mix it up, and then pour it back in the cup. That way you ensure you get all the stuff out of there. I'm gonna reduce the stuff anyways. It works out okay. A little bit of reducer. The rest of it's out. That's about right, about 25 ounces. Now we can go ahead and add the hardener. Okay, I got everything mixed up here on this mixing cup. So I'm gonna go put the funnel back on the container and just pour it in there, and go ahead and tighten up our shoe tooth nut. I'll bring it back. Alright, so just a quick overview on the Raptor, on getting it mixed. The kit that I had bought came with 4 of these, and each one of these is 25 ounces. And the instructions call for fill, shake, and shoot, which you can do. I found that it was a lot easier to mix it separate in a cup, just to get a consistent mix. So the Raptor on the inside of this container is probably about up to right here, and then the fill part that it calls for is up to this indentation right here. So you fill it up into the indentation, and then you put in your paint, your tintable paint, and that brings it up to about right here. So that's the reason, there's not a whole lot of room left for you to actually shake it, and that's the reason I mix it separate in a cup, just to see that I have a consistent mix. Because I reduced mine, and there's no room left for the reducer after putting the hardener in the paint. So it's a lot easier if you mix this stuff separate in a mixing cup. I would recommend getting 1 gallon mixing cup instead of using the 1 quarts, because by the time you put the Raptor in here, the hardener, the paint, and the reducer, this thing is damn near overflowing, and it gets messy. So I would recommend getting a gallon mixing cup, and get all your stuff in there, and mix it in there, and get it, and you can see that you have a good consistent mix. You got one color, because this is a cream color, and when you're using something like red like mine, it's really hard to get a good consistent color just by shaking this thing. You got to see what it is that you're mixing. After you do that, I mean, you pour it. After you do that, you see you have a consistent mix. All you got to do is put a funnel on here and then pour it back in, shake it just a little bit, and then you go ahead and put on your shoots gun right on top of that, and then you'll be ready to spray. I did spray the whole bottom of the car, the whole belly, and that took up the whole 4-quart kit. So that for the whole bottom of a car, 64 Chevy, I would imagine it's the same 61 through 64. You need the 4-quart kit. And you can find this stuff. I found it on eBay. It came with 4-quart kit. With the shoots gun, it was like $110 shipped to the house. So that was a pretty good deal. I had to buy the paint separate, of course, and this red quart or pint, sorry, cost me about $38. And you need 1 pint for the 4-quart kit, and you'll have a little bit left over. So the whole floorboard is a full kit. If you're just doing the trunk by itself, I would recommend getting 2 of these. And this is a 1-quart kit that you see in the back, that box right there. You can buy either 2 of those, but I would recommend just buying the full kit just so you have enough. And mix it separate, make sure you have a consistent mix, and then pour it back right in here, screw on your shoots gun, and then go to town. On the surface, make sure there's no bare metal, because it won't stick, it won't adhere the same. You have to have some sort of primer on it. What I did with mine to prep it is I got everything down to the metal on the floorboard, and then I epoxied the floorboard, and then I threw this stuff on top of it. If you let the epoxy sit longer than what it calls for, you're gonna have to scuff it again, which was the case in my trunk. I had to scuff it and then spray it. But just as long as you don't have any bare metal, you'll be okay. And this stuff is really easy to spray. If you can spray anything with the rattle can or a spray paint can, you can spray this stuff. It's not hard at all. You're not gonna get any kind of runs or stuff like that. What I do recommend is just to cover everything with plastic, and don't spray this stuff where you don't need it, because once it gets hard, it's really hard to remove. So that's it for the Raptor. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and put up some pictures right after here of the belly, and y'all stay tuned, and thanks for watching.